The world of cars is changing faster than ever before, and I've seen it all from my garage. For the longest time, the good old internal combustion engine was king. You had your gasoline, your spark plugs, and that classic rumble. It was simple, reliable, and it got us everywhere. But if you look at the last 10 years, it's like we've hit the fast forward button. The pressure is on to build something better, something cleaner, and something smarter. Automakers are in a huge race, not just for speed, but for survival. They know the engine we used yesterday might not be the one we use tomorrow. It's a fascinating time to be a car guy. The biggest reason for this massive shift is something we all hear about: climate change. The emissions coming out of our tailpipes, things like carbon dioxide, are having a big effect on our planet. Governments all over the world are putting in stricter rules, telling car companies they have to clean up their act. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a requirement. If they want to sell cars, they have to make them produce less pollution. This has forced engineers to get incredibly creative. It's no longer enough to just make an engine a little more powerful or a little more fuel efficient. The goal now is to completely rethink how we power our vehicles from the ground up. This isn't just about following rules either. People are starting to demand cleaner cars. They see the headlines, they feel the effects of a changing climate, and they want to be part of the solution. This public demand is a powerful force that pushes companies to innovate. When customers start choosing cars based on their environmental impact, the industry has no choice but to listen. It's a huge challenge, but it's also a massive opportunity for new ideas to shine. We're moving away from a century of gasoline dominance and into an era where anything seems possible. So the stage is set for a revolution. The traditional engine, with its pistons pumping up and down, has served us well for over 100 years. It took us to the moon and back, metaphorically speaking. But its time as the undisputed champion is coming to an end. We're on the hunt for a new heart for our cars, one that can deliver the performance we love without the environmental cost. This search has opened the door for some truly wild and exciting technologies, from batteries to hydrogen, and even some incredible new mechanical designs. The next 10 years are going to be even crazier than the last. When you talk about new car technology, the first thing that comes to mind for most people is the electric car. And you can't talk about electric cars without mentioning Tesla. They really shook up the industry. Before Tesla, electric cars were often seen as slow, quirky, and not very practical, more like glorified golf carts. But Tesla came along and built electric cars that were fast, stylish, and had a long range. They showed the world that you didn't have to sacrifice performance to go electric. Suddenly everyone wanted one, and other car companies had to scramble to catch up. But electricity isn't the only game in town. There's another really interesting technology out there: hydrogen fuel cell engines. These cars are also electric, but they make their own electricity on board. You fill them up with hydrogen gas, which then mixes with oxygen from the air inside a fuel cell. This chemical reaction creates electricity to power the motor, and the only thing that comes out of the tailpipe is water. It's an amazing concept. Countries like Japan are investing heavily in hydrogen, building out fueling stations and encouraging their car makers, like Toyota and Honda, to develop these vehicles. It's a different path to the same goal: zero emissions. Of course, both of these technologies have their own challenges. For electric cars, the big questions are about range, charging time, and where the electricity comes from. You need a robust charging network, and making all those batteries has its own environmental footprint. For hydrogen, the main hurdle is infrastructure. It's expensive to produce, transport, and store hydrogen safely, and there aren't many places to fill up yet. So while these alternatives are fantastic, they aren't a perfect solution for everyone, everywhere, at least not yet. This is why the door is still wide open for other new ideas. This is what makes the current automotive landscape so exciting. It's not just one new idea against the old one. It's a multi-front battle of technologies. You have the battery electric folks, the hydrogen fuel cell proponents, and even engineers working on making gasoline engines cleaner with hybrid systems. Each approach has its pros and cons, and the winner might not be the same in every country or for every type of vehicle. This competition is driving incredible progress, pushing engineers to solve tough problems and giving us, the drivers, more choices than ever before. It's a great time to be watching the race. Just when you think you've seen it all, electric this, hydrogen that, something totally new comes along and blows you away. That's what happened when I heard about this new engine from a company in America called Avadi. They've created something called a self-rotating engine, and it's a complete departure from the piston engine we've known for a century. Instead of pistons going up and down, the Avadi engine has a clever design where parts rotate in a continuous, smooth motion. It's hard to even describe without seeing it in action. Think of it less like a jackhammer and more like a spinning top. So how does it work? In a traditional engine, you have a lot of wasted energy. Pistons have to stop and change direction hundreds of times a second, which creates a lot of vibration, friction, and lost heat. The Avadi engine gets rid of all that. It uses a set of rotating pressure chambers to manage the intake, compression, power, and exhaust strokes in one fluid cycle. Intake, compression, power, exhaust. This continuous rotation means it's incredibly balanced and smooth. It doesn't need a heavy flywheel to keep the momentum going, which saves a lot of weight and reduces complexity. It's a fundamentally more efficient way to turn fuel into motion. What makes this so important is its potential to be a game changer for efficiency and emissions. Because there's so much less friction and wasted energy, the Avadi engine can get more power out of every drop of fuel. The company claims it could be significantly more efficient than the best piston engines today. And better efficiency means less fuel burned, which directly translates to fewer greenhouse gases and other pollutants coming out the back. It's a mechanical solution to an environmental problem, which is something that really gets me excited. It proves there's still room for brilliant engineering in the world of internal combustion. This kind of innovation is exactly what we need right now. While electric and hydrogen cars are the future for many, they won't replace the hundreds of millions of gasoline cars overnight. We need a bridge technology, something that can make our current fuel infrastructure cleaner while we make that transition. The Avadi engine could be that bridge. It can run on gasoline, biofuels, or even hydrogen, making it incredibly versatile. Gasoline, biofuels, hydrogen. It's a reminder that you should never count out the combustion engine. Just when you think it's done, a clever engineer in a garage somewhere comes up with a whole new spin. So why should we care about all these new engine ideas? It's simple. The move away from older, less efficient engines is critical for everyone. Cleaner cars mean cleaner air in our cities and less impact on our planet. It's not a political issue, it's a practical one. We all share the same air. Innovations like the Avadi engine, alongside the progress in electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles, are all pieces of the same puzzle. They represent hope and progress, showing us that we can solve big problems with smart thinking and a little bit of good old-fashioned ingenuity. It's important to keep pushing these new ideas forward. This global push for cleaner engines has sparked incredible competition between car companies and countries. When Tesla made electric cars cool, every other major automaker had to respond. When Japan invested in hydrogen, it pushed others to explore it too. Now, with a new mechanical design like Avadi's engine coming from America, it puts pressure on everyone to step up their game. This competition is fantastic for us, the consumers. It means more choices, better technology, and faster progress. No single company or country has all the answers, and this race to the top benefits us all in the long run. The reality is that we're still in a transition period. While electric cars are growing in popularity, the vast majority of vehicles on the road today still run on gasoline. It will take decades to replace them all. That's why we can't just focus on one solution. We need to improve the engines we are still using today. An engine like Avadi's, which could potentially make existing fuels 30 or 40% cleaner, would have a massive positive impact right now. It's about finding practical solutions for the present while we build the infrastructure for the future. Ultimately, building cleaner, more efficient cars is a journey we are all on together. Whether it's powered by a battery, a hydrogen tank, or a revolutionary self-rotating mechanical marvel, the goal is the same: to keep moving forward without leaving a mess behind. The amazing creativity we're seeing in engine design is a testament to the human spirit of innovation. It shows that when we face a challenge, we don't just sit back. We get in the garage, get our hands dirty, and build a better future. And I, for one, can't wait to see what comes next.